I do think that. Yeah, I do think that. I mean, obviously, I've played my cards now, haven't I? That I've essentially left the Occupy movement. But what I do think is that one of the distinguishing characteristics of Occupy, as opposed to other, and make no mistake about it, this was a mass movement. I also want to add just. Well, I should have made this as a prefatory remark. Was that another stunning achievement of it was that it absolutely proved beyond doubt that global coordinated action can be made to be successful in a way that had never happened before. Not on the same way. The way that Melanie made the point that there were, at one point there was over 1,000 occupations, but in actual fact on October the 15th, when we all rocked up in St Paul's, and it became obvious that there were probably too many of us to all go into police cells that night, although now we know they use buses instead, don't we? But you know, that night there were 971 occupations that sprung up around the world, all on the same day. And that's a phenomenon that never really happened ever before. We know we can do that again. So that's a definite marker. I do think that a distinguishing characteristic of Occupy was that it was geo-specific. Now, I mean, we all know that we didn't want to be in the churchyard, and I mean, I'm getting too old to sleep on those cobblestones, so it's definitely right that. Sorry.
I was really happy with the churchyard.
Well, I mean, you're a bit younger than me, George. You know, frankly, after. I mean, I found it hard on those cobblestones, and those bloody bells as well. You know, I'm sorry, but I mean, you know, if that's what you need to call the faithful of prayer, you know, they can't be that keen, can they? But you know, the fact of the matter is, I mean, I lost my voice too many times, more than I can remember. But the reason we were there wasn't. Everyone knows this, don't we? That I mean, we wanted to be in Paternoster Square. They wouldn't let us in. The police chose to kettle us in the churchyard, so we rocked up there instead. I mean, it's 10 yards away. But the point was that there we were, nestled between in the belly of the beast, nestled between the heart of capitalism and the wealthiest cathedral in England, and it was a very appropriate place to be. And I do think that the nomadic camps are a sad legacy. Because I mean, apart from the numbers being much lower, I do think that rocking up in London parks, I just don't think. I mean, people. I mean, yeah, we had, like I said, we had thousands every day to start with, and then hundreds, and then tens or whatever, in general assemblies. But the fact is that we had a spot where people knew this is where you go, and I know why it's there, and I understand it. And a lot of our discussions this weekend have been about how do we make a green or a leftist message. Accessible to people who have never been involved in politics before, and this was something that the actual location made it very, very easy for them to understand what we were on about, because it was where we physically were. So whilst you could have a festival space or a roving camp or a Quaker meeting place or whatever, it loses its anchorage. I think Occupy, the reason it worked was because it had a physical anchor in a certain spot. And I mean, maybe if we I'm not really joining the movement. Maybe if we're camped outside Barclays all the time or something like that, it's got to be physically in a space. Because Occupy, I'm sorry, but the numbers are not there now. I mean, it did. I wish they were. And I have my own personal take on why I felt that I was driven out, and I know other people do as well. And my own personal take on how the too many wrong-uns were encouraged to stay in our place. But the fact of the matter is that you got a newspaper, you got a website. Hey, I've got a fucking website. I'm sorry, but that doesn't make me a mass movement. What makes a mass movement is when people are actually doing stuff all together. Now, you can have that online, but I don't think it is happening. I mean, I don't know what the hit rate on the OT is, but I'll be surprised if it's that much more than my blog. Frankly, I don't. Well, I can.
Direct point. Go.
Yeah.
I just wondered what you think about Avaaz as an organisation online.
I
They've got something like 15 million.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, that's what. No, okay. Look, I don't have detailed knowledge about Evans, but what I'm saying is it can be done. We can coordinate globally, but what we mustn't do is fall into the trap of kind of going, because Occupy was massive once and had huge potential, and because we've got the the structures online and so on to do that, therefore this is working. It isn't. I'm sorry, but it isn't. Occupy was defined by the fact that we were occupying space. When you don't occupy those spaces anymore, what you're doing is you're struggling, I think.
Okay, I've got Graham and Tim had his hand up to ask a question, and hopefully he'll be able to make it back in a second.